All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. We talk about superstar, news and active statuses, injury updates. We talk about contract extensions, negotiations, and also signings. We talk about promotions from WWE to AEW to CMLL to GCW. If it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show 1010%. So yeah, just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our NXT review. We talked a little bit about what to expect from AEW Dynamite tonight. Some Fright Night should be pretty awesome. And without further ado, we're going to jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about Sami Zayn's next storyline. Obviously, before we get started with any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super thanks right there. Hit up the super chat. It's that dollar sign below the chat box. Whatever you guys put in there, it's going to be featured on this show. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears 1010%. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. It helps us keep the lights on in terms of, keeping these amazing podcasters doing what they're passionate about. It's talking sports, making sure that you guys feel like your love for sports content is being consumed at an amazing, healthy matter. That's what we're here for, 1010%. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. So thank you in advance. You guys are so amazing. We owe you guys everything. So let's get this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Once again, if the super chat not your thing, it's all good. Go ahead and hit up the GSMCpodcast.net, the tips and donations link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1010%. Of course, sometimes in terms of talking sports, there's disagreements, there's criticisms. Feedback is a gift overall. Do not be shy. Drop however you guys feel inside that chat, and we can have a nice little discussion about it. All right, so now our third segment, we have some Sami Zayn talk. Sami Zayn, obviously, on Monday Night Raw, you saw him in a conversation with Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso backstage, and it seemed like the storyline. It seemed like it was it's just boiling over. It's the storyline. The moment you feel like it can't get can't get any more better, or there's not another twist and turn to kind of add into the unpredictability of professional wrestling, and just to kind of add into the meat of this amazing stew that is the bloodline storyline. A lot of people thought that after WrestleMania 40, when Cody Rhodes finished his story, that this bloodline storyline, like, what was going to happen with everybody. And Paul Heyman even said in an interview that it was funny because a lot of people did think that, but at the end of the day, he said it was like basically the third inning just started. So kind of crazy, but without a doubt, you have a lot of future stars in WWE. Obviously, you have the current, face of professional wrestling, that is Roman Reigns. And Cody Rhodes right now, he's out of the storyline. He's kind of, taking a back seat to it, which I ultimately kind of prefer. I feel like I feel like it's better in terms of WWE. Obviously, he will, some way, somehow, he will be brought back, mostly probably because Dwayne The Rock Johnson is set to come back to WWE. Obviously, during this new day and age of the Netflix era, with Raw being having a 10-year contract worth billions. So there's no doubt in my mind that this is just going to get better and better and better. Sami Zayn, he's looking for a sense of belonging. What's going on Monday Night Raw right now, besides him having, here and there stints and, backstage promos with Jey Uso, his boy. He lost the Intercontinental Championship. He tried to get it back, didn't really get it back. He won a shot at the World Heavyweight Champion, didn't really, didn't really get it back, or well, not didn't get it back, but he didn't win. And now you have him just kind of floating around Monday Night Raw as kind of like that lovable hero that doesn't really have a sense of belonging. Doesn't really seem like this character has a storyline. And then all of a sudden, after this, this new blooming amazingness that is the Bloodline storyline, and you have the OG Bloodline taking on the new Bloodline. On after WWE SmackDown went off the air on Friday, you had Jimmy, Jay, and Roman. Put we the ones inside the ring, which was actually pretty badass. I love that. That was super cool. But I don't know. The question is, where does Sami Zayn fit inside this? And being brutally honest, I don't like him as a heel. Like he did it for quite some time. He was the honorary Uce before that. He was kind of like, damn it, what was he? He kind of named himself he was the self-proclaimed like, oh my God, I forgot what it was. Kind of gave me like vibes like like Dean Ambrose, like while he exited WWE, that trash character storyline, and that's the reason why he left for AEW. Actually, it's kind of funny, but I feel like Sami Zayn, he's the hero that people love to cheer for. He's that guy that you can put up against absolutely anybody. You can sell, posters and stuff like that, and it's gonna sell. He's gonna sell pay-per-views. He's gonna sell PLEs. He's gonna help people subscribe to Peacock. But overall, I feel like Sami Zayn needs a direction. Recently you've seen Solo Sikoa take to social media on Wednesday, sharing a nostalgic video and with the quote unquote words, my dog, so maybe something could happen where you kind of have Sami Zayn being stuck in the middle where he ultimately wants to be there for Jay, only Jay, Jimmy, Roman, he's not a huge fan of. And it's just kind of crazy because the last time you saw Sami Zayn being assimilated in this bloodline storyline, he was kind of stuck in between members as well. So now it's just gonna be it's gonna be super funny how Roman Reigns is probably going to be like, we need you, Sammy, we need you, and then just in the back of Sammy's mind, how he's like, you know what? I know what these people are capable of. Kevin Owens was telling me the whole time that these guys are going to stab you in the back when they have a chance, and that's exactly what happened. It was crazy. So, Sami Zayn have being faced with a lot of decisions to kind of make, but the person who has the most decisions is probably the character that, the writer that is, that's going to be responsible for writing for Sami Zayn or the group of writers. So it should be pretty interesting. Maybe they could be heading toward a toxic relationship between Solo Sikoa and Sami Zayn. I don't know how Sammy is in terms of how much he respect Solo. It wasn't really Solo pulling the strings behind, Sami Zayn being excommunicated from the original Bloodline storyline. But I don't know. It could be crazy. It could be an absolute curveball in this Bloodline storyline. But I just hope Sami Zayn doesn't turn heel. And of course, when you expect him maybe to kind of be a part of the new young Bloodline, like you have Tamatanga Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu, then you have Solo Sikoa, and with opening up, having open arms with Sammy. He's like, you know what, my dog, you can definitely join us. I consider you a brother. I consider you family. And Jey Uso, told Sami Zayn in front of his face on Monday Night Raw that, dude, you're not family, Uso. So, I don't know where those words really resonated with Sami Zayn. I got to be honest, I would feel a little hurt. I would definitely feel a little hurt, 1,010%. This guy that after everything went down with the bloodline, he was watching his back, and Monday Night Raw, he had Jey Uso had a huge target on the back of his neck, basically because of all the BS and all the absolute carnage that him and the bloodline caused a lot of people like Roman, Jimmy, like what I mean? It's like one of those things where Sami Zayn wants people to feel like, or he kind of has this storyline role that is kind of, that kind of connects to like what Kevin Owens was saying. How these people, they need to be held accountable. They just can't do effed up crap to everybody. And then, the moment Roman turns babyface, all of a sudden, now it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge. What about, Randy Orton being taken out by the bloodline? Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, forced to throw a chair shot at Kevin Owens and kick him kick him where the sun don't shine at that War Games, at that War Games match. But it's definitely a delicate storyline. I definitely feel like right now Sami Zayn's character is like, on the precipice of either being something really great, obviously, or if it's written badly, or I see him go to this new bloodline. maybe it might work at the end of the day. Maybe Solo Sikoa, abuses Sami Zayn the moment he joins, and then like he's like, oh crap, maybe it was like a toxic relationship that I ultimately should have avoided. But Sami Zayn's a very gifted superstar. I did a segment on some of the wrestling stars that could wind up switching brands, and he was definitely one of my top 10. Sami Zayn going to SmackDown, trying to find new heights, being a part of this Bloodline storyline, which is great for Sammy. I honestly don't feel any reason why he should be excluded from these bookings. I feel like ultimately it could definitely add a lot more tension to exactly who does Sami Zayn align himself with, and it's going to create this kind of this tribal territorial ultimate like storyline that is going to be on Friday Night SmackDown, because at the end of the day, what if Sami Zayn joins Kevin Owens? What if, they have their own, personal, faction, all the people who say F the bloodline, you know, they come together like people, like wrestlers like, for example, like the Street Profits or Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Once when they lost against the Motor City Machine Guns, they ultimately left. Tommaso Ciampa was, super frustrated, and so was Johnny Gargano, maybe hinting at a potential, being like they could join this faction of Kevin Owens, because at this point Owens can't really stand on his own. He can't really stand on his own. And if this match that is according to Dave Meltzer of the Professional Wrestling Insider, if this match between him and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at NBC, Saturday night's main event in December. I know it's quite some time ago. I mean, quite some time away. Um, if you have this faction promoted by Kevin Owens, you have an aggressive tag team like DIY, and then you have Sami Zayn that he's not necessarily a bad guy. He's just kind of looking for a sense of belonging. Once again, how you saw Sami Zayn at the end of his run with the original Bloodline with Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Roman Reigns once when and Jimmy as well. You kind of had this guy that, he, looked scared. He didn't know exactly what was going to go on. But, you being all by yourself on the roster, is, kind of bad juju. It's kind of bad news. So ultimately, Sami Zayn would kind of have to find a faction to kind of subside with. And, it I feel like it's more likely that he winds up with Jay, Jimmy, and Roman Reigns. Obviously, you have that six-man tag team match at Crown Jewel. Something's got to give. The new young bloodline still have one more man. They outman them. Maybe he finds a way to to help even the odds and makes the rescue, and then all that and a bag of chips, and then he's accepted, and then everything's all good again. Obviously that would be a huge kind of kind of for me, I'm like, okay, so if that's the case, why did you have that tension build up between that backstage rumble between him, Jimmy, and Jay, talking about how he doesn't trust Roman Reigns? So maybe that's the only thing that kind of steers me away from that. But the storyline has just been absolutely genius. It's crazy. you know um you have Roman Reigns become a babyface at at what cost? Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of weird and kind of like different and intricate to kind of think about. Like, you have all these superstars like, Kevin Owens and maybe Sami Zayn that were baby faces, but now are they necessarily heels, or did Roman Reigns during his reigning championship as a heel, his long run, is it like leaving wrestlers to kind of be like, look, man, I'm not trying to hate on Roman Reigns, because everybody right now in the fans, everybody in the stadium is chanting his name. So people are like, all right, this person is against the bloodline. This person's against the OTC, Jimmy and Jay. And that's something that Jay Uso ultimately had to accept the responsibility of, was, all right, now I'm going to associate my name with, this guy who, screwed so many people over, and my brother who tried to screw me over. And, we fought at WrestleMania for Sami Zayn. He was like, dude, how could you go back to that? How could you just like, agree to be with these people? He's just trying to stick up for his friend, and once again, where you kind of have a friend stuck in the middle, like Cody Rhodes was, he was in the middle, then he had to team up with Roman Reigns, and then you saw Kevin Owens, attack him in the parking lot and stuff like that. Obviously, I hope Sami Zayn doesn't go down that role. But it's at this point, anything's possible. Anything's possible. Now at this point, you're kind of guilty by association because Roman Reigns is hated, absolutely hated by everybody on the Raw roster. So this baby face that the fans love so damn much, and it's kind of cool because you have the roster and the WWE audience kind of at odds with each other, kind of this unspoken like rivalry where you're like, you know what, like you're all of a sudden gonna love the OTC, when he comes back from that SummerSlam, and it just, just adds to the storyline, just adds fuel to the fire, and I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Wherever Sammy, like I said, I don't like him as a heel. I feel like he did spend a lot of time as a heel already, but at this point, I just gotta trust Triple H, Paul Levesque. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fourth segment. We got former WWE employees join Vince McMahon in his new business venture. So, hey, do not go anywhere.